So yeah, Jenny J, I'm really glad to have you on the show. I know earlier we just said that I wanted to add a new dynamic to the podcast because entrepreneurship focuses on many things. It's a huge umbrella, and it's not just about hustle, working on a business, but more of like the mental aspect of it, the physical aspect of it as well. And I always thought that hey, if you're gonna work on something for a very long time, it's good to be both mentally and physically fit. But to provide some context for everyone listening, can you just tell everyone your name and what you do?
Yeah. So I'm Jenny J. I am an online fitness and nutrition coach. I have been working in the health and fitness industry for the last decade as a nationally certified personal trainer, a group fitness instructor, and nutrition coach. And I have been in the industry for a very long time. But before then, I knew nothing about fitness. I knew nothing about nutrition. And I actually had a pretty tumultuous past of yo-yo dieting, crash dieting, not knowing how to eat right, how to fuel my body. And I had lots of issues with weight gain, weight loss, digestion issues, and I didn't know what was going on. And, in this whole process, I was pursuing a dance career in Los Angeles, and I kept going back to, trying to figure out how can I lose this excess weight? Like, what foods will fuel my dance career? Like, what food should I be avoiding to, reduce the fatigue and the afternoon slump that I would get every single day? And there were so many things that I wanted to just kind of figure out for myself. And so it came out of my own personal interest in figuring out what works for your body and what doesn't. And so while I was pursuing this dance career, I realized that, as much as I love dancing, fitness and learning about nutrition was something that I just did naturally. And so I felt like, maybe I should be going into this career path instead of dance. And dance was amazing and was so fulfilling, but I felt like I was having more of a calling in the health and fitness industry. And so I started learning, started having my own personal transformation, figuring out what worked for my body, what didn't. And I started sharing my health and fitness journey. And this was all in this process of just learning. I knew I had no certifications under my belt, no college education when it came to fitness and nutrition. But I just kept learning and then sharing my journey on social media. And over time, I started to grow a following, and I started to continue to learn and then share more. And then I started getting my accreditations. I started getting my certifications, doing the courses, figuring out how to help other people. And so, it ends up snowballing. And so now I'm here as an online coach. And I love what I do. I help people. I especially help women, but women and men can get the same information and the same value from me. But I help people do the same thing, where they can get fit, they can lose weight, keep it off, break free from crash dieting, break free from yo-yo dieting, and just learn how to live a healthy, fit lifestyle in all aspects of life, not just diet, but in your lifestyle, which means, your career, your, even your finances, even your relationships, learning how to live your best life. Like, that is my goal. And fitness and nutrition is definitely the platform in which I share that with people.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Fitness and nutrition is a lifestyle, and if you can integrate that in your life, it'll only be beneficial. It's not like something that you do for quite some time. If you can incorporate a set of rules that you put within yourself for the rest of your life, ideally, then you're going to see a lot of benefits and incentives. But let's bring it back. So, like about your childhood, when you were younger, were you always into dancing, into sports? Were you always like a proactive person?
I was actually very active. Yeah, I would say I was never overweight. I was never obese, but I lived a very sad lifestyle. And SAD is an acronym that stands for the standard American diet. So I grew up with everything that, a lot of people eat nowadays. It's the Pop Tarts,
Mm.
cereals, like, I was a big fan of Oreos and cookies, pizza, cheeseburgers, cakes. Like I ate all of that. And I had no concept of what healthy eating meant. Like I had no concept of that. I just kind of ate whatever my parents gave me. And even though I was active, I wasn't fueling my body in the best way, in the most optimal way. And yeah, I remember early on my parents, I was sitting at a table at our kitchen table. It was very vivid in my memory. And I was telling them my dreams. I wanted to be this professional dancer. Like, how can I do it? And they basically said, okay, Jenny, if you want to become a professional dancer, you have to lose a little bit of weight. And I was like, what? Like what? And that was like the first time that I ever had a sense of like my own body image. Like I never had a perception of what I looked like. And it was the first time I like looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, I'm not fit enough to achieve my dreams. I'm not good enough to fit my, to accomplish what I want to do in life. And so unfortunately, you know, my parents weren't educated about diet. They didn't know what they were doing. And so I went on this path of like crash dieting, yo-yo dieting, like doing the detox teas and the weight loss shakes and the diet pills and just doing everything under the sun to try to lose weight that were totally like quick fix diets, you know, shed 10 pounds in 10 days type of diets. And, you know, I had that past of just like this up and down roller coaster. And so, yeah, it definitely, you know, I was never this like super fit person. You couldn't see it from the outside, but I was very unfit and unhealthy on the inside.
Okay. But you never felt insecure because, I mean, you said you never had that, you know, that self-image of yourself. But once you realize, hey, I got to lose weight to pursue my dream, was it at that moment where you're like, okay, maybe I kind of feel insecure and, you know, let's go for this goal. Let's lose weight and yeah, let's go about it.
Yeah, I was definitely insecure. That has been my biggest struggle growing up was creating a positive mindset, creating a positive body conscious mindset of learning to love myself in the process of losing weight. And that's what so many girls and women deal with today is that they look at social media, they look at these fitness influencers, they look at magazines, they look at all the celebrities, and they are comparing themselves to these women who are, you know, totally filtered out. They, you know, have plastic surgery. They've like nip tucked their waist and they've added injections to their face and their booty. And it's just like not reality. And so that's what I kind of want to share with women, especially young girls, is that like we should stop comparing ourselves to these people on social media because you never know what's really happening behind the scenes. And all of us, even the most confident women that you see on social media, they have insecurities too. And it's a process of just basically accepting yourself for where you are on the journey, regardless of whether you're like 50 pounds overweight or 20 pounds underweight. We still need to accept and embrace our bodies that we have and work towards our health and fitness goals.
For sure. Now, there's no shortcuts in this, right? And when you took those diet plans, the diet pills, and all those sorts of things, did it kind of take a toll on you?
Yeah, it was a really big mental, emotional, and physical toll doing all those things. You know, like physically, it's so unhealthy to do those crash diets. I mean, some of those diets out there are less than 1,200 calories. Sometimes, you know, I hear girls like eating just 800 calories a day, and that is not enough, especially if you're a growing teenager or a growing young adult. Like you need calories to build your muscles and to just live a healthy life. And then mentally, it takes a toll on you because when you fail that crash diet, which is inevitable because they're temporary, they're quick fix, they're not sustainable, it takes a mental toll on you because you think you're a failure. You think you don't have the determination or the willpower, or you don't think you have what it takes to achieve your dream body. And so you're left feeling frustrated with yourself. You're left feeling exhausted and confused and just not feeling confident in your body because you're not doing it correctly, or you're not approaching it in the healthiest way. And so that's what ends up happening is when you go on those crash diets, it's a very negative, slope that you go down.
Yeah. What do you think is like the biggest mental block? Because in your case, you wanted to be a dancer and you had that goal, that dream of being a dancer, but you had to lose weight. And for anyone who wants to join a sports team or a club, for example, and they have to lose a certain amount of weight, they kind of have a real like goal that they can look at and be like, hey, here's the reason why I need to lose weight. Let's do it. But thinking objectively, or not objectively, people that say, hey, I just want to look good and impress my partner, my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, that's kind of a very general sort of reason to look good, but it's still a valid reason. But in that case, what do you think is the biggest mental block for people? Is it just the time it takes to get to where your body wants to be, like your ultimate goal?
Well, I think there's two mental blocks that I see come up over and over again. The first mental block is that they think that they have to overhaul their entire lifestyle to lose weight. So, especially if you're in that all or nothing mentality, which is usually the crash diet mentality, you think, okay, if I want to lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds, I need to restrict my food intake. I need to take out all junk food. I need to remove all sugar. I need to work out 3 hours a day. And then if I do that, then I'll lose the weight. And then you quickly find out 3 days later, you cannot maintain that at all. And then what happens? The binge eating, the mental exhaustion, all of that happens, right? What really needs to happen is habit change. And that is like the unsexiest word ever. But really, living a healthy lifestyle is small actions repeated daily. And as long as you keep repeating those small actions daily and build them up, creating that foundation of a healthy lifestyle, weight loss can be sustainable and it can be maintainable. But it's not a crash diet mentality that helps us achieve that. It's the small actions, such as, walking around the neighborhood maybe for 30 minutes a day, or it's the drinking at least 8 cups of water. It's the getting at least 7 hours of sleep. It's reducing stress. It's all the little things that you don't think make any difference at all, but it really adds up over time. And that's what really helps you create that healthy lifestyle. The second thing that I think that people are blocking themselves from is the fact that they think they need willpower to do it. They think they need motivation to get started. I hear that so many times again in my DMs is like, how do I get motivated to lose weight? I've lost motivation. What can I do to get back on track? And willpower is like a muscle. So willpower takes a lot of mental, conscious energy. And the more we use willpower, just like a muscle, the more it fatigues over time, right? So you do a set of bicep curls, you feel really strong the first set, but if you do it for 5 more sets, that bicep is going to fatigue. You're going to no longer be able to lift that weight because you've exerted it. Willpower works just the same. So we have a lot of willpower on a Monday, right? Start over on a Monday, do it all over again, right? And as you continue to use willpower throughout the week, it fatigues over time. You can no longer use that much conscious energy towards your goals. And so by Friday, you've given up, you drink that wine, you eat that chocolate. Saturday, Sunday, you binge eat those nachos and pizza and burgers, and then the loop and the cycle happens all over again. So it's not about willpower. It's about just creating small habits, doing things that you can do that don't take a lot of conscious energy. And that's what I really teach women and men how to do, is create small habits over time that don't rely on willpower.
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest takeaway on that is you need to have micro wins. And by that, I mean, say you drink 8 beers a week, you love eating like a burger every other week, you like to watch Netflix for 4 hours, and you don't do any exercise. Doing all these things that doing all these things that help you lose weight, running outside, eating better, having these plans, it's a lot of work, and if you do everything at once, it could be overwhelming. However, if you set, I think, small tasks or small goals, so instead of drinking 8 beers a week, cut it down to 5, and then to 4, and then to 3, and then to maybe just once a week, right? And then eventually 0. Instead of watching Netflix for 3 hours, just watch it for 1 hour and take the other time to walk around the neighborhood, right? Kind of have these small micro wins, not do everything at once, because if you do, then I think you'll be completely overwhelmed and you're going to lose motivation. But here's the thing. People want things fast nowadays. And especially like you said, with social media, you see things there. You see like these infomercials about the pills. And I think that's the biggest problem. I think people want things fast and to the point, but it's an incredible long journey depending on what your goal is, to lose 20, 40 pounds. And that's probably the biggest pillar of someone losing their motivation. And I do think, just to add one more thing here, is there has to be a way to track this down. I think that if you don't have a metric to measure your results, that's going to be very unmotivating. So I think if you have, say, an Apple Watch or a tracker, something that you can kind of see how much calories you're intaking, how many calories you're burning, and see your progress, like how many miles you ran, how many steps you've taken. Having all those measurable actions and results can kind of motivate you. Like, hey, I'm actually slacking here. I didn't take as many, I didn't go as far as I wanted to in terms of my daily run. Let's pick it up a notch. Or I took too many calories. I got to slow down. I think now with technology, it's very beneficial for us to kind of use that to our benefit and really attain our results, if that makes sense.
Totally. Yep. You hit it right on the money. Cause I teach people, you got to set smaller expectations for yourself. Don't completely try to change your Netflix habit. Like that's not going to happen overnight. Right. But instead of 3 shows, can you limit it to 1? Can you, instead of a 10-minute walk, can you do a 15-minute walk? It's just smaller expectations so that you can get that win. You can get that small win throughout the week. And what happens is when we get that small win, a hit of dopamine comes through our brain, and dopamine is the reward hormone. Okay. And so when we get reward, what happens to our bodies? It feels good, right? And you're like so excited to get the next one. And so that's what happens when you're like checking things off your to-do list. Like, I don't know about you, but I have a planner or a journal, and I write everything that I want to do for the day. And I love the process of crossing something off my to-do list. It just gives me that little hit, like, yes, I'm off to a great start. And then what happens? It builds momentum, and you're like, okay, let me do that next thing, and then the next thing, and then and the next thing. And so that's what happens when you set smaller expectations. You get that dopamine hit, and you're like, okay, let's move on to the next expectation or the next thing that I want to do. And it gives you that momentum and the motivation to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Is that why you kind of created that 8-week program? Because, obviously to have that 8-week program, in reality, you want to have that 8-week program to be something that you do for the rest of your life to maintain that lifestyle, right? But with that 8-week program, you're going to have a defined sort of constraints, so that when you complete that 8-week program, you hope that you do get that momentum so that it kind of leads to a solidified, plan for the rest of your life, ideally.
Yes. So my Back on Track weight loss program is basically a step-by-step solution to help you lose weight and build healthy habits so that after the 8 weeks, you are able to utilize what you've learned so that you can become smarter and figure out how to do this on your own, where you don't have to rely on a diet program, on a fitness regimen, on a diet pill, or on a weight loss shake. You get smarter by equipping yourself with the tools to help you create healthy, balanced meals, to help you learn how to navigate the grocery store, to figure out what foods are good for you, what foods are bad for you, how to navigate the balance between eating healthy and allowing treats. So figuring out that balance is super important, and making sure that you have the tools and the resources to be able to do this in a way that's maintainable, where you're not going to lose weight drastically. And I don't promote drastic weight loss. I promote sustainable weight loss. So you would expect to lose, maybe 1 to 2 pounds a week. And that's a healthy, realistic process, rather than losing 5 pounds in 5 days and then gaining 10 back. So yeah, I help people through that and navigate weight loss in a way that will keep them healthy and happy, and not go through that mental drain of another quick fix diet.
Yeah. Someone interesting, he told me that 20% of it, or the hardest thing, is not actually working out. It's actually what happens outside the gym. Once you actually work out, that's the easy part, but the hard part is the rest of your day, just your diet and whatever you do outside of the gym.
Yeah, there's a common quote, I think, that's out there that's like, your results are 80% nutrition, 20% fitness. And I definitely think that's true. And a lot of people think it's 80% fitness and 20% nutrition. They kill it in the gym, they kill it in their workouts, but they're confused why they still have a beer belly. They're confused why they still have excess fat. And they're like, what's going on? And I tell them, you got to clean up your diet. That's where the results show. And that's the hardest part, right? That's the hardest part, is changing the way you eat. So I definitely agree with you.
In your program, or when you coach people, do you kind of tell them to download certain apps or tools to kind of measure the results?
Yeah, so I personally use MyFitnessPal. It's just a calorie tracker. It's a food tracker. It has a very big database, but that's basically my way of kind of just checking off, what I ate that day. It keeps me aware of what I'm eating and the progress on my own personal weight journey. So I am a big fan of just tracking your food. There's many different apps out there to track your fitness, your steps, like having an Apple Watch or a Fitbit can be helpful to track your fitness activity as well.
Cool. And how does your diet look like today?
My diet is the best it has ever looked. I eat a diet of real, whole, unprocessed foods, little to no junk. And I talk about, eating real, whole, unprocessed foods and reducing crap. And crap is basically an acronym. So crap stands for chemicals, it stands for refined sugars, artificial ingredients, and processed food. So if you reduce all 4 of those, you will see natural weight loss, 100% guaranteed. So that means, avoiding the artificial ingredients that is usually found in soda or in frozen, weight loss meals, weight loss shakes. There's a lot of artificial things in there. Processed food, just kind of reducing or limiting the amount of bonbons or donuts or muffins, all of that stuff. We want to be able to fuel our bodies in the best way. So real food is all about choosing foods that come from the earth. So plants, vegetables, proteins such as, chicken or beef or tofu or fish, healthy fats such as avocado, chia seeds, flax seeds, oils like avocado or coconut oil, and healthy carb sources such as sweet potatoes, or whole grains, oats, quinoa, brown rice. Whole grains are much better than white flour, just typical, a white bread, for example. So My diet is basically, yeah, whole foods and reducing crap as much as possible.
Some people might be like, hey, Jenny, that sounds all cool and whatnot, but all these foods are dumb expensive. I can get $1 burger from McDonald's and I'll be happy, I'll be full. And that's the problem with, like, at least in the US, where you can get so much cheap food and so unhealthy, but the healthy food is so expensive. If you want to get your organic food from like Trader Joe's, for example, it's pretty darn expensive, and that can be another excuse to not lose weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, I have a couple thoughts on that. So, we perceive, so let's take for example your McDonald's Happy Meal or a Big Mac, right? It
Mm-hmm.
costs maybe $2, and you don't want to pay for maybe a healthier chicken sandwich from a healthier restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
$2 of a burger versus maybe $10 of like a healthier chicken sandwich. Yes, in face value, the chicken sandwich from the healthier food restaurant is going to be more expensive. But if you take a macro level approach to the investment that you're making, you have to remember the long-term effects of choosing a cheaper quality product. Yes, you're getting it cheaper that day, but if you continue to fuel your body with cheap ingredients, what's going to happen in the long term? What are the long-term consequences? And that's what a lot of young people don't understand or can't wrap around because they're so focused on the present moment. But when you really think about your health and the long-term longevity of how you want to live, the investment of choosing a more expensive, more quality ingredient is going to last you so much more. You're going to get so much more out of it. You're going to have better energy. You're going to have better focus to do the things that you want to achieve in your life. I like to make this comparison. Like our bodies are like a car, right? So I want to ask you, what's your dream car that you want when you make, when you're a multimillionaire? What car do you want?
I'm gonna be real here. My dream car ever since I was a kid was a Lamborghini, but if I were to have that today, I don't think I'd drive it. But yeah, this is a Lamborghini.
Okay. So your dream car is a Lamborghini. So I want you to pretend like your body is that Lamborghini. Okay.
All right.
You can choose between fueling your Lamborghini, your body, with cheap gas and let it sit in the garage with cobwebs forming and all the dust settling on that beautiful Lamborghini of yours, or you can give it quality gas. Make sure that you're cleaning it, you're fueling it, you're giving it the checkups that it needs, you're prioritizing it, you're making sure that it lasts you a lifetime, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
your body is your investment, your body is your vessel, and you want it to last a really long time. So how are you going to invest in your body, invest in your Lamborghini? And that's what we need to kind of remember, is that our body is everything. Our health should be our number one investment, because without good health, you're not going to be a better student. You're not going to be a better father, a mother, a friend, without your health being number one first. Because if you can't take care of yourself first, you can't take care of anything else in your life, whether that's your job or the people around you. So yes, the perceived value is that it's a cheaper burger, but in
Yeah.
the long run, we got to value and prioritize our health. So going for the more quality ingredients is going to benefit you in the long run.
Mm-hmm. This is a bit random. Have you played like fighting games, like in video games?
I played Call of Duty a long time ago.
I was gonna say, like, in some fighting games, when you get hit, you see a health bar and it goes down as you get hit, right? And then eventually, if it goes down to 0, you die, right? I wish that there was a way where whenever you eat like a piece of junk food, you can see your actual health bar diminish whenever you eat, something bad. Um, Me personally, I used to eat a lot of junk food in in middle school, kind of in high school. Me personally, my body's an ectomorph, so it's really hard for me to gain weight. I've been lucky where I can eat whatever I want and not gain any weight at all. But I know, even though if I can look healthy, the insides can be really bad, you know? And I remember when I went to a museum one day, there's one room, and it showed all the things that soda can do to you internally. And ever since that day, I was like, wow, soda's like pretty darn bad. And I kind of just stopped drinking soda from then on out, because I used to drink a lot of Coca-Cola, like maybe 1 can a day on average. And I just think sometimes it takes that one epiphany, that one moment, to kind of shift your perspective on things. And I think that macro level viewpoint that you kind of described is perfect, because yeah, your body is your number one asset in the world besides time, and you got to take care of it. And there's so many benefits of having, you know, not only just looking good, but feeling good too. I think your quality of sleep just, at least for me, like when I work out or when I play soccer, go to the gym, my quality of sleep is much, much better. I feel happier, and I'm just full of energy, and I just want to I want to look younger. Like I want to, like when I'm 50 years old, I want to look young. You know, that's one of the ultimate goals that I have. You know, there's some friends that I have, unfortunately, where they don't really work out, and they already look in their 40s. You know, I have some friends at the gym. My one friend, Chris, he's like 50 years old, and I swear to you, he looks 36. And that's because he's been working out his whole life, you know, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's all about lifestyle choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to live a life of health, or you can choose to live a life of just obesity. And which life do you want to live? I mean, which one's is better to you? You have to take those examples, like your friends and your family, and you have to see, okay, do I want to live like this person? And if you do, follow their footsteps, right? You know, in the personal development world, there's a quote there, I don't know who said it, but success leaves clues, right? So if you want to be successful, whether it's in your health and your fitness, follow your inspirational leaders, follow your heroes, follow what they do, how they train, how they think, and try to adopt those things. And you're no different than anyone else. You know, every habit is a learned skill, it's a learned behavior, and we get to choose how we live every single day. So making sure that we choose the best choices possible.
Mm-hmm. And do you kind of recommend, you know, just having those micro wins, cutting off as much junk food as possible? You know, there's still going to be an urge to drink that glass of wine on the weekend or get a slice of pizza. Do you kind of still encourage your, you know, the people that you work with, your clients, to you know, hey, it's okay to have like a cheat day every once in a while. Don't cut it off completely. Psychologically is going to help you out. Do you kind of encourage that?
Yeah, so I try to avoid the word cheat day just because it implies that you are falling off track of
Mm-hmm.
something, right? You've like set these parameters, you've set these guidelines of how you live. And so when you have that cheat day, you think, "Oh, I'm losing, I'm just falling off track." And I don't want people to have that mentality, because it is implying the all or nothing crash diet mentality. So instead, I try to replace cheat with treat day or treat meal. So that kind of shifts something in your mindset to be like, you know, it's okay to treat myself and have this donut or this cake if I really, really want it. You know, I think it's all about balance. It's about creating a balance that works for you, without having the added shame or guilt after you have the treat. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's hard, is because when you have the treat, if it's followed by shame and guilt, that doesn't feel good, right? So we need to be able to have a healthier relationship with food and figure out, you know, I've been eating healthy Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I'll just be a little bit more relaxed and be totally okay with it if I have a few extra servings of chocolate or a few extra glasses of wine, and it's okay. Like, you're gonna be fine. So finding that balance is super important. So for me, I like the whole 80% being really healthy throughout the week, 20% allowing for flexibility. Some people like 70-30, some people like 90-10. It really just depends on what you want for your life.
Yeah, I definitely think that we need to be flexible. We're not robots. We're not binary creatures where we just, okay, we're going to cut this off completely unless you're like a professional or you have those goals and you're just solidified and set in stone that you're not going to eat no more junk food. Now, speaking about working out, do you think it's essential to have a gym membership or, go to a facility, a paid membership to lose weight? Or is it, can you just get a couple of dumbbells, a mat, run outside? Like, what do you kind of recommend for anyone starting out to get the ball rolling?
Yeah, well, I've actually had a personal transformation on my own since quarantine. I worked in the gym industry for a very long time, and so I became virtually unemployed overnight, and so I didn't have access to a gym like many of us. And I did not let that stop me. I wanted to lose weight. I myself actually kind of got into this like whole weight gain rut. I lost motivation for myself too. And so I wanted to get in shape. And so I did all of my exercising at home. I didn't have any dumbbells. I grabbed bags of sweet potatoes for my weights. I grabbed laundry detergent, anything that was heavy, water bottles, canned goods. I used it all. I did not have any equipment. And in 3 months, I lost 15 pounds and I've kept it off, all without weights. And now, since then, I've been able to invest in just a few basic pieces of equipment. But it just goes to show you do not need a gym membership to lose weight or to get fit. You just need your body. That is a free piece of equipment already. And then you just got to get creative, grab some things around the house, grab some books or backpacks, go outside. You can do anything at a park. You can go to the beach. There's so many ways to stay fit. Please don't use, not having access to a gym as an excuse for why you're overweight. That's just baloney. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Because they say when you lift weights, you burn a lot of fat. And of course, running, you burn fat too. How do you kind of balance the two between how much do you run and how much do you lift?
It just depends on your goals. So if you're focusing on changing your body composition, if you want to reduce your body fat, build lean muscle, strength training is going to be super important. If you want to just increase overall cardiovascular endurance, get a little bit more heart healthy, or train for, a marathon or a 5K or whatever, cardio is going to be where you need to be training more. So it really just kind of depends on if you're training for performance, if you're training for a certain aesthetic, or if you're just trying to maintain a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Having kind of a 50-50 mix of cardio and strength training would be perfect. So it really just depends.
In your 8-week program, do you have, a weekly routine, kind of like a schedule of, I forgot the exact word or phrase for it, but I guess a routine to work out, not only the diet plan, but a workout plan as well?
Yeah, so what I have set up is it's a 5-day-a-week program. All the workouts you can do at home. All you need is a set of dumbbells. But basically, we split it up in kind of this balance of cardio and strength. So you're going to get full body conditioning. I love and totally recommend high intensity interval training, or it stands for HIIT. But basically you get a mix of both cardio and strength, and it is one of the most effective ways to burn fat and build muscle at the same time. So you get HIIT training, but then you also get focused sessions to focus on building your physique and building a leaner body, and getting the toned arms and getting the abs and the toned legs. So you do get focused strength sessions, and then you get the HIIT training in there, and then you get more cardio. So you get a little bit of everything, and it's all 30 minutes or less. Some of the workouts are as short as 15 minutes, and that's really all you need. So one of the biggest myths out there is that you have to work out an hour a day to get results, and that's just not true. So my program allows you to have more time throughout the day and get the most effective workout.
Yeah, so true. Some people, they can go to the gym for 2 hours, but in reality, they're working out for 30 minutes because most of the time they're just chilling or on their phone. But if you just do one thing after the other, with the hit strategy, you're just gonna like sweat, burn that fat, and put in that work instead of just resting like every 2 minutes after each set. So it's
Exactly.
definitely important to, yeah, that's definitely a good way. I think I encourage a lot of people too, if you love a sport, a team sport, and if you can find people to play with, that's one of the most fun ways of like to lose weight, right? Because just running can be boring unless you're listening to music. But if you're able to have an actual activity, like a sport, I don't know, maybe tennis, soccer, football, whatever it is, I definitely do encourage that as well, because me personally, I hate running by myself, but when it comes down to playing soccer, I can run like for days and it's so much fun. Um, I just feel like, yeah, if you're just in college or you want to join a club team, or sometimes in college too, there's these free 1 credit courses. Maybe anyone listening, they have their own. I know college is like closed now, but when it reopens, they do have these programs where for 1 credit, a free 1 credit, you can take a swimming class, boxing class, these classes that are just physically intensive, and that's a really cool incentive for any college student as well.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you have to figure out what activity you love to do, because
Hmm.
that's the only way you're going to keep doing it. If you're forcing yourself to do CrossFit, or you're forcing yourself to do some type of workout just because someone told you to do it or someone got really good results from it, but you hate the process and you hate doing it, you're never going to keep it up. So figuring out what movement you love and you actively enjoy doing, that's what is going to help you maintain a healthy, fit lifestyle. So whether that's boxing, soccer, Zumba, kickboxing, yoga, like figure out what you want to do, because that's really the key to living a fit lifestyle.
Hmm. And so many people, they hate doing legs. I personally used to hate doing legs too, but I realized it was because of one exercise, and it was the lunges. For some reason, that just really hit me hard. I was super, super sore, and it was really, really difficult. And to be honest, I stopped doing lunges. But my point is, there's so many exercises across different body groups that you can really hit. And just because there's one exercise that you don't like at all, you can kind of replace it with another one. Um, so yeah, I think running, even if it's boring, maybe jump rope. If you have a jump rope, then that can be really fun too. There's
Exactly.
so many alternatives, so many new ways of losing weight. If you find something boring, yeah, you don't want to force yourself. Kind of find that alternative and make it into a fun way to lose weight.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to enjoy the process all the way.
Hmm. And so during quarantine, did you kind of start your TikTok because you amassed like a large following, and did you kind of show your progress throughout those that duration of your weight loss journey?
It so I did start my TikTok during quarantine. I started pursuing it for business in June, and in just 3 months or so, it's now over 50,000 followers, which is just insane. But I every single day I just committed to posting multiple times a day and just offering tips and value and maybe some fun things in there and funny jokes, but mostly just sharing what I know, sharing what I learned about weight loss, sharing everything about how to lose weight, what foods to eat. And over time, I built that following. And then once I kind of hit my 15-pound weight loss goal, I started kind of sharing my transformation and teaching people, like if I did it, you can do it too. And I teach people how to do it in my program.
Hmm. And what's cool about being a fitness coach is that you you don't have to rely going to a physical gym and coaching people. You can do it all online, provide value through social media, through your site, through your 8-week program.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, quarantine, what it really does is make you creative. You learn how to continue to give value to people in a different way. And I think it has been one of the biggest blessings in disguise is being able to take my business and have it 100% virtual, it helps me reach more people. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you think was the biggest takeaway? Or, you know, I feel when you work out and you lose weight, you know, it takes a really long time, right? And it's not like you just wake up like, hey, oh my God, I feel good. You know, it's kind of like that gradual process. You look inside the mirror. Was there a point during your whole journey when you first started like pursuing your dance career, and you lost the weight? Was there a moment in time where like, hey, like I can actually do this. I feel good about myself and I want to pursue this full time? Because I know you mentioned that, you know, you kind of started to lean towards this career of health and fitness.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very slow journey in the very beginning. I was instructing part-time in on the side of my dance career. And I was trying to build a side hustle the whole time. Every free time that I had or free hour, I would try to, post on social media or join an online course to help me learn about online business and online marketing. And lots of trial and error, just trying to figure out, where do I want to be in this fitness space? Like, what kind of influencer do I want to be? What kind of value do I want to give? And how can I differentiate myself from all the other fitness influencers out there? And it's a journey. It's a really long process of trying to kind of hone in on who you want to be, what your brand is, and what you want to stand for. And I think it's just the consistency and the discipline of showing up every single day, and maybe not knowing what's going to happen out of your side hustle, but knowing that from the bottom of your heart, you want to give value and you want to help people and you want to serve people. And it's not necessarily, yes, your goal might be you want to earn a six-figure business, online. That can be your goal. Sure. That can be a great motivation, but deep down inside, you need to make sure that everything that you're doing is from the heart and that you truly want to serve and impact people.
Yeah, I can see that you're definitely consistent, because you have over 1,000 posts on Instagram, and that doesn't come overnight. You know, like you said, you've been posting every day on TikTok during the quarantine, and I know that can be a lot. You know, from creating the programs to, you know, managing your TikTok, your Instagram, and whatnot, tracking the progress of your clients. That can be a lot of work, and I think for any, like, you know, personal trainers out there, I think building a personal brand is really important, you know, because it's all about that trust. You know, if someone's relying on you to lose those 5 pounds or get in that workout plan, you know, they want to make sure that you're there for them and that they trust you. And so building that personal brand kind of helps with that.
Exactly. It's all about know, like, and trust, right? No one's going to buy from you until they know you, they like you, and they trust you.
Yeah.
So making sure that you come from a place of helping, and that's how you build that rapport with people.
Yeah, because quite honestly, like, you can have the most fit person on social media, but if he or she has 3 posts and like you don't know what they're doing, like outside of like the social media, but if you're just constantly posting, sharing value, then people are just gonna trust you, you know. Just being there all the time, engaging with people, and I think is really important, because I heard, you know how like in college you call it what is it, college 15, like you gain 15 pounds in college. Now there's like a quarantine 15 where you gained 15 pounds during quarantine. And then, yeah, I think a lot of people went through that. They got very cozy, you know, working from home, and yeah, they got so lazy to the point where, you know, they didn't want to do anything. The gym's closed. So that I know a lot of people in my gym that didn't go back yet because, you know, they kind of stopped working out. I guess they got way too comfortable, and it's just turning on that switch again of going from being too comfortable to, okay, let's get back at it. And that's the scary thing, uh, going back to be really comfortable. You know, if you go on vacation, for example, that can kind of hurt. But if you're very consistent and if you follow these programs and if you make this into a true lifestyle, then it's going to be ingrained in your mind. You know, if you just take this program for, hey, I just want to look good for the summer, then in the long run, it's not going to be good, because you want to have that ingrained, kind of like etched inside your mind that, hey, this is the lifestyle and I'm going to do this forever.
Right, exactly. I think I saw a quote. I get this. I have an app called Fit Quote Daily or something. I just like found it on the App Store, and there was a quote from Will Smith, and he said, "Stay ready so you don't have to get ready." So stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So it's like I'm just talking about that mindset of like, oh, I want to get fit for the summer. So I'm going to do all these things and get fit for my summer body. And then you wipe it out the door and then you gain your winter body, right? But it's all about the consistency. Stay ready so you don't have to ever start all over again and get ready again for summer or winter or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And how important is it to have a defined schedule? So, for example, say you work at 9 a.m., right? Wake up in the morning, do a 30-minute workout at 7:30 a.m., eat your breakfast, take a shower, then go to work. And then after that, go for a jog instead of like sitting down watching Netflix. Like, I always feel like, hey, don't do things every once in a while. Kind of have a defined schedule to kind of make it like a system. I think subconsciously we already have like an internal schedule. When you wake up without your alarm, there's an internal alarm clock in your mind that kind of turns on, and sometimes you don't need to rely on your phone for you to wake up. Same thing with the way you live. We kind of do these things where you do it automatically, subconsciously, because you kind of have an internal schedule. But if you want to lose weight or have any goal in mind, then it's important to have a schedule at a specific time, a regimen, basically. Because if you don't have that, you have no structure. And if you have no structure, it's going to be a lot more difficult to complete your ultimate goal.
Exactly. I think routine is so, so, so important. And this is a technique that I call habit stacking. It's like most of our lives, most of our conscious day-to-day activities are unconscious. The moment we wake up, we hit the alarm, then we go to the bathroom, then we brush our teeth, then we wash our face. And then do you ever get to that point where you're like, did I wash my face? Did I brush my teeth? Because like it's so
Yeah.
unconscious that you don't even think about it anymore. You're just on autopilot, like you're driving a car. And so what I tell people to do is if they're trying to incorporate a new habit, stack it on top of an already automatic behavior. So let's say you want to start drinking lemon water in the morning. Where can you add it in your morning routine? So for me, that was one of my habits that I wanted to implement during quarantine. I wanted to start with a lemon water. So I made sure that every single time when I was brewing my coffee, I would go in the kitchen and squeeze a lemon in my water and chug it before I drank my coffee. And the first week, yes, it took conscious thought. Yes, it took maybe a little bit of willpower. But the moment I started creating that habit and stacking it on top of an already set routine, it just got easy. Now I don't even think about it. So habit stacking, creating that routine is super, super important.
I mean, is it still okay to drink coffee as long as you put no sugar whatsoever?
Yeah, coffee has actually a lot of great antioxidants. It's the creamers and the sugars that make it not good for you.
Yeah, I think, with the people living in the US, they love their Starbucks, the Dunkin' Donuts, and, it's filled with sugar. Obviously, you can get no sugar, but people love the sugary drinks. It's built into the culture with Coca-Cola, soda, now Starbucks. And it's right in your face because there's so many of them and on every street corner, depending on where you live. Um, but yeah, it's getting to that habit of, you know, finding alternatives, maybe not drinking coffee or drinking coffee without sugar, drinking lemon water, drinking tea, green tea. There's so many alternatives. And yeah, plus you save money too if you, I don't know, just drink lemon water or just plain old water.
Right, right. And yes, it's definitely an acquired taste just having black coffee on its own. But there are many different alternatives for sweeteners, such as like stevia is a healthier alternative to sugar. So just making sure that you are educating yourself and figuring out ways how you can still enjoy your coffees and your desserts, but choosing a healthier option.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite like snack? Not junk food snack, but snack that you can kind of like grub on.
I love just my Greek yogurt parfait. Like I just have Greek yogurt and I have fruit, whether that's blueberries or an apple. I put some flaxseed in there for some healthy fat, cinnamon. Sometimes I'll put just like a tablespoon of almond butter on the side, and it's just like the perfect little treat. That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. And do you drink any supplements? I know with proteins, they have a bunch of those chemicals, but I know there's like plant-based proteins that have nothing and they don't have any flavor, but it does gets the job done. Do you kind of recommend any supplements?
Yeah, supplements are again a supplement to an already existing diet of whole foods. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to rely on them to achieve our fitness goals. However, they can enhance certain things. So if you are lifting super heavy in the gym, a quick digesting protein, if you don't have access to real protein such as chicken, beef, whatever available, a quick protein source such as a protein powder can be beneficial to make sure that you get that recovery, and help your muscles in the recovery process. So yes, it can be beneficial. And there's other supplements such as like branched chain amino acids, BCAAs, that help with muscle recovery and energy in your workouts. But always, you always want to kind of do your fact checking, your research, figuring out the most natural supplements, and choosing ones that don't contain like sucralose or any of those artificial ingredients, because those can really harm your body, even though it might be like 0 calories or something. Though remember, we want to reduce crap at the end of the day, so no artificial ingredients as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. To kind of add to that, do you have like golden nuggets that you kind of tell everyone or that you have in mind that are essential in weight loss?
You can't outrun a bad diet. No matter how many crunches you do, you still won't get a six pack until you work on the hard work in the kitchen. I think that those are like my top two. It's all about what you eat. It's all about how you live. The fitness that you do is just the icing on the cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
You that's probably the worst metaphor to talk about cake when we're talking about fitness. But to build the cake, you need the base layer.
Yeah.
And that base layer needs to be a good diet. And then you get the second layer, and that's, prioritizing your sleep, reducing your stress levels, third layer, so on and so forth. And then the frosting that just makes it all, wrapped up in a beautiful cake is the fitness. That's what really kind of shreds everything away. It gives you that beautiful lean physique that we want. But all of the hard work comes from the kitchen at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Something that I forgot to mention too was that you said in your program you have the HIT strategy and it's a 30-minute high interval training, right? And I think that's so important nowadays because everyone's super busy. They may not have time to do a 1 hour or 2 hour workout. With a 30-minute workout, it's just straight into the point and you can go about your day. Of course, you got to do a lot more in the kitchen. That's the most important aspect of it. But in terms of getting the workout done, 30 minutes and you're on your merry way, you know.
Yeah. I mean, HIIT training is by far the most beneficial way that I feel can be effective for everyone. I mean, everyone wants to lose weight nowadays. Everyone wants to build a lean, strong body. HIIT training is the best way to do it. You kill two birds with one stone, essentially. You get the cardio in there, you get the strength, and it's quick.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be high impact where you're, jumping all the time and, breaking down your joints. HIIT training can be high intensity, but it doesn't have to be high impact. You can still
Mm-hmm.
get a great workout without having to do any jumps or even any running for that matter. So yes, HIIT training is by far the number one strategy that I like to promote.
Cool. So yeah, Jenny, if people want to go on your 8-week program or learn more about health and fitness tips, where can they check you out and check the program out?
So you can find me on any social media platform at Jenny J Fitness. So that's Jenny J Fitness, or go to my website at jennyjfitness.com. You can find any of my meal plans and my workout programs and any challenges that I'm offering throughout the year.
Cool. And so you have a YouTube channel too, right?
I
You
do.
have, cool. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff, Pinterest.
Yep, it's all there.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'll add that to the show notes in case anyone wants to click on those links. And yeah, Jenny, it was really cool having you on the podcast, something very different. Like I said, having this aspect of mind over body, health and fitness can kind of help any, person that doesn't have to be exactly an entrepreneur, but just live a healthy lifestyle. If you're running a business in the future, you want to run that business for as long as you want. If you have kids, if you have a partner, you want to be with your partner for a very long time. And in order to do that, you got to have a healthy lifestyle, be confident. And yeah, I think it's very important to have that mindset of changing your lifestyle, not just the way you work out, but how you live as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
It was a pleasure, Jenny. I appreciate it. All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too.